my respected and very distinguished guests, scholars, elders, brothers and sisters, colleagues, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Children's Night of Empowerment is to bring and create awareness about the suffering endured by children, especially in poor and vulnerable areas. This event gives us an opportunity to pause for just a moment and reflect on the plight and consider what we can do, both as individuals, as families, as communities, and of course, as a country, to change the appalling conditions that we see around the world. We are here tonight to empower the children all over the world and help to break the cycle of poverty they face. Friends and colleagues, it's not just the continuing saga of seeing the usual stories in the third world developing countries. In the last few weeks, we have seen the turmoil that is taking place in North Africa and some parts of the Middle East. As much as there is a political issue that is evolving in those countries, but the victims at the end of the day, when we see people being killed, are the children who are left at the end to carry out the work of survival. And this is the reason why we at Muslim Aid have decided to organize this tour, so that even the most basic research into the conditions the children are living or have to live what makes with some grim reading. The reality on the ground is harsh and the statistics are pretty awful. Tens of thousands of children under 5 die every day, and according to the UN, about 70% of these deaths occur in the first year of the child's life. This means children do not even reach primary education before they die of preventable diseases and causes. And we, when I say we, I mean the worldwide community, have let them down before they have even had a chance to learn to walk or talk. If you look at the other statistics, where we see 1 in 7 children in the world is a child laborer. That equates to 218 million children around the world having to work to help their families survive. How can we expect to change the conditions that these children currently face if a major portion of their life is overtaken by having to fend for themselves and their families? We may also consider the fact that in Africa alone, 62% of kids who go to school complete primary education. This is compared to an average completion rate of 94% in some of the Western countries. And according to the UN Millennium Project, children whose mothers have 5 years of primary school education have a survival rate of 40% higher than children of mothers with no education at all. The impact is not just on the years of survival, but the quality of life that goes with it, with the opportunity to be assets to the society in which they are born. This statistics points to a serious global problems in the provisions of healthcare and, more worryingly, in the provision of education. This is the plight of our world's children, which Muslim Aid is determined to help to eradicate and ensure that with Allah's help, this our key strategic goal for the next 5 years will be met. And that goal is to extend both the formal and the non-formal education programs worldwide, both at primary and secondary level. We are here tonight to raise funds for a range of activities that Muslim Aid is undertaking in improving the conditions of children. and young people by providing them with the basic primary education and secondary education, health care, livelihood support, food empowering households, and to pay for the children's education as more importantly. Muslim Aid has been working to empower children since its inception, and we make sure that children, their welfare, and their future are put at the forefront of all our programs. For instance, for many years, we have run maternal health programs in various countries to ensure that both mother and child can survive those first few fragile years that they receive best at the earlier part. One such example that comes to mind is our health programs. In Sudan in 2010, Muslim Aid was able to employ skilled healthcare professionals to treat over 800 pregnant women at one clinic, at the Waga clinic, ensuring that both mother and child were given again the best start to their life. The program and others contribute directly to the 5th Millennium Development Goal, which our country and many other countries around the world are determined to ensure that the targets are met. And that goal is to reduce by 3/4 the maternal mortality ratio and increase the proportion of births attended by skilled health personnel. And once the child becomes older and survives those first few important years, our Rainbow Family Program kicks in. And what is the Family Rainbow Program? In brief, what it does is that it enables a child who is an orphan from an early day, i.e. before even starting the primary education, that the support is provided that child to continue a secondary education up to a university level. And during the duration of that period, a child is taken care of in terms of its food, health care, and more importantly, the surrounding in which the child lives, that there's some comfortable surrounding where the child can grow in a much more stronger and a better year. Our commitment to the world's children doesn't end there. Take, for instance, our housing and the livelihood projects following the devastating cyclones in Bangladesh, which helped more than 100,000 people to get back on their 2 feet with sustainable livelihood programs. Only a few months ago, I was in Bangladesh, visited some of those areas where it is very difficult to describe the appalling conditions which tens of thousands of families have to live daily. And again, it's the very small and young children who you see and literally unable to control yourself in terms of how they're able to live their daily lives. But the programs which we carry out in Bangladesh is again an extremely good example of what support from the donor community, from our donors across the world, are able to help and endure. And that is, in the last few years of our microfinance program, we found that more than 2.2 million persons who were literally beggars in the street have been able to stand on the 2 feet and are now contributors to the society. This is an example which very few people in the higher establishment were able to understand. But the concept which Muslim Aid has been working through this microfinance program is on the Qarz Hasna basis, where there's no involvement of interest, where the purpose is not to generate money or to generate income from those beneficiaries, but it is to ensure that the beneficiaries are empowered so that they can stand on the 2 feet and then become the contributors to our society. This is now our 26th year of the life of Muslim Aid. We are celebrating the 25th anniversary just completed at the end of last year. Alhamdulillah, a very long and a successful journey which continues to make a difference to the lives of the peoples around the world. Through the grace of Allah, Almighty Allah, and the generosity of our donors, our projects provide infrastructure for houses, schools and hospitals, education courses for adults and children, interest-free small loans to poor families, and providing the economic schemes tailored to helping meet them. Over 25 years, our projects have brought thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out of poverty. And this has all been possible with your generous support and help that has been given to us. Inshallah, we will continue to provide this service in the future. Just before I end, I must take a moment to acknowledge the tremendous support that has been given to us by many businesses, media organizations, diplomatic corps, academics, literally across the society. And this event would not have been possible without that fantastic support that we have received from our sponsors. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'm particularly grateful to the events partners for this tour, Engage and Leica Mobile, who are with us here tonight. Jazakumullah khairan for the tremendous support you have given to us. We are also very grateful for all the support you have shown us. Without the help you extend, the simple fact is that events like this would not be possible. Muslim Aid, as you're well aware, is one of perhaps the very few NGOs and relief development agency, I would say, possibly in the world, whose ratio of expenses to income being generated is the lowest that one could achieve. And that has only been made possible because of the fantastic support that we receive from our volunteers and ensuring that we cut our costs to bare minimum. And when such programs are being organized, we ensure that they are supported by the sponsors. May I also thank our event supporters for this evening, Paradox Computing and the CABS Estates, for the generous support. We are truly grateful to you as well. We would like to thank once again to all those who supported this event through sponsoring tables, and many of you are regular contributors. And I know when I see them, when I speak to them, the tremendous affection they show for the charity is deeply appreciated. And of course, this event tonight would not have been possible without the tremendous hard work of the staff at Muslim Aid, right from the CEO to our basic persons at the reception. All of them have been involved in organizing this event. They've been working extremely hard behind the scenes to put all the efforts together for the success of this evening's event. Ameen. Jazakumullah khairun, and I hope you have a lovely evening this evening. Jazakumullah khairun. Assalamu alaikum.